Hello, hello, hello. How you guys doing tonight? Oh my goodness. Hopefully everyone's having a great night. A lot going on out there. Of course, we know that they shot down something over the North Carolina coast or South Carolina coast today. Supposedly it was the balloon, but of course we have reports that they shot down a balloon in Billings, and of course those videos I could verify that were actually taken yesterday. So what they shot down in Billings, we don't know. We don't know how many balloons there actually are, and whether this is just a test of America's resolve. This and more, of course, tonight. How you doing, Debbie Martin, Richard, Rodney, Debbie Rogers, Nana, Matt, Lauren, Tia, Retha, Lauren, Linda, Corinne, Pam. You guys all doing tonight? God bless you all for being here, of course. Definitely appreciate you guys. It is something. They're testing American resolve right now. That's what we can definitely say. I mean, yeah. There's no political solution in this. Lauren, you're exactly right on that. I mean, even though we shot down the supposable spy balloon now off the Carolina coast and recovery beginnings of the debris, of course, we know the Pentagon, of course, has guaranteed a second spy balloon has been spotted moving across Latin America. We know Canada has verified it in their airspace as well. And the question is, were there more than one in U.S. airspace? Did we shoot down one yesterday? And did we shoot down one today? And of course, are there more? I mean, the U.S. military has suspected the Chinese spy balloon off the coast, and the U.S. military has shot it down, the suspected spy balloon. But right now, it's suspected. That's all we can say. I mean, the president had given the green light for the operation, the go-ahead to shoot this down. Finally, after, of course, it gathered information throughout the entire country. We know it did, because it crossed the entire country. I think they're testing our resolve at this point. I think even our country's government is testing how strong we are as a nation to stand against or to stand with them no matter what they do. I mean, if the balloon was conducting spying activities on the U.S. military and U.S. forces, it should have been taken down immediately. I mean, it's nothing more than they're acting like it was a beach ball that bounced in our backyard. That's what the government's acting like. Yeah, Dennis, 99 red balloons. That's what it sounds like. I mean, literally, they're acting like it's a beach ball. I mean, tests we've done for many years, of course. You're right. And no, Melinda, this definitely was not our balloon. The ones in Latin America definitely aren't ours. Definitely the ones in Russia aren't, or Canada are not ours. It's just crazy. I mean, we know there's shit off the coastlines. How many more balloons are out there? We don't know. The government is actively acting like it meant nothing. It should have been hit long before Alaska. Should have been hit in the Aleutian Islands. I mean, yeah, this is historic. And see, the thing is, and I don't know whether the U.S. did this on purpose or not, but did we not shoot it down because we couldn't technically get a lock on it? Biden's world, it is a beach. It is a beach ball. science world, let's just face it. Well, that's what they're acting like right now. They're acting like this is nothing more than your neighbor out back, playing with a ball and it goes over your fence. It's no big deal. It's just a spy balloon going over the United States. We didn't need to know anything from it. We won't ever know the truth. You're exactly right, Retha. Nobody will know the truth about what's actually happened here. And who knows what's coming? I mean, this could lead to much worse. And that's my biggest fear is what if this was a test run? A test run for something much worse. Say an actual EMP. Multiples of that rate. This could be extremely troubling. I mean, today we have a lot going on today. We have a train that derailed, of course, in Ohio town. The town has been evacuated at this point. Hazardous chemicals burning as we speak on a major rail line. Major rail line running through Ohio, of course. 51 cars, I believe, total were derailed, carrying hazardous chemicals. More than 1,500 residents have been evacuated because of this. Nobody's looking at what's happening everywhere else. There's another $2.1 billion going to Ukraine. Bet you none of you knew that, because it's nowhere in the news today. Even though they're talking, and they've already released it. Yeah, after it did its job, shoot it down. That's a great way to work. Of course, Ukraine is now perfecting drones to use for bombing of their own kind. But the war of nerves that is happening in Ukraine and the war of nerves that's happening here in the U.S., even amongst us, is getting much worse. I guarantee they got all the information they needed. We have military bases all around the world. South America, no. There's no major military base in South America, so. But the problem is, they're studying all of America, and I think it's for an invasion plan, honestly. We already know that Iran is heading towards the Panama Canal, going to enter through Brazil. And Brazilian government's already willing to accept them. So it's only a question of how bad it's going to get. No, 2 billion. Another 2 billion is going to Iran or Ukraine. 2.1 billion. It's crazy though. And the rocket and artillery that we're sending to Ukraine will double its explosive reach, giving Ukraine the power to fire into Russia. A beyond direct violation of this red line. Even the tanks are a violation of that. But this is beyond that. This is a violation of a treaty that was made back when the Soviet Union was dissolved. Giving missiles the capability to hit Moscow would immediately dissolve that treaty. And is the U.S. doing this on purpose? If Moscow gets fired upon, I guarantee the treaty is gone and Russia will react. We already know they're surrounding the United States. So what are they going to do if they start acting upon it? It's crazy. Every time we turn around, something else is happening somewhere else. A lot of people are not trying to see what's happening. Yeah, Crimea is the ultimate goal. If they try to take back Crimea, though, if the U.S. does, if we even join that fight, it's over. Putin won't play around. He will use nuclear weapons because he's a dictator. He doesn't need permission from his country. He doesn't need anything else. Of course, that's sovereign Russian soil now, as they declared it annexed in 2014. It's not like it's been a long time, or been a short amount of time, I should say. It's crazy watching what's happening. We see massive layoffs, AI's taking over. I mean, fires randomly happening at food sources around the country, planes randomly crashing in the same day. Two planes hit two different food facilities. Viruses supposedly going around and killing chickens. That's the reason we don't have food. Something more going on. I mean, between the administration and the DOJ, between the DOJ, the FBI, the CIA, we're definitely screwed. I mean, even the CIA chief today said if Ukraine does not puncture Putin's hubris in the next 6 months, it's over. I mean, it's a war that's going to go on forever. Yeah. Yeah, Brendan, that's crazy. Our $1 is going to be worthless. Yeah, one day. Don't know how soon. Sorry, guys. I'm not feeling well tonight, so if I'm a little bit off, that's probably why. But yeah, after it already scoped out our bases, our missile locations, I mean, it was controlled. It was a maneuvered balloon, and so it wasn't a weather balloon by any means. This has nothing to do with our balloons whatsoever, Melinda. Nothing to do with our balloons. Melania. Yeah, they had way more than ample opportunity. We knew this was coming. I mean, I guess according to information I've had so far from the Air Force, it's been tracked since the Aleutian Islands before them. So it's pretty sad watching in this condition. This is one thing after another in the U.S. There's literally one thing after the other. I mean, they're going after everything they can now. In tax season, I have a feeling it's going to be horrible. I mean, $600 or more transactions that don't get reported on your taxes, guaranteed the FB or the IRS will be going door to door and taking audits with those people. Oh, it's just crazy watching what's happening. It is absolutely crazy. I mean, that's the thing. And is this the only one? Because, like I said before, we have had reports of multiples yesterday. And we know for sure there was one in Canada. We know for sure there's one in Latin America. We know for sure something got shot down right outside of Billings, Montana, yesterday. They blew up to one today. There's not going to be anything to recover. So the one in Montana might be the only one to recover anything. We'll never hear about it. And how many more are out there? It gets scary as you watch what's happening. I mean, now we're a global warming situation, but the Northeast right now is experiencing biblical temperatures as a polar vortex is bringing record-shattering temperatures, including negative 108-degree wind chill temperatures to the Northeast. I don't know if you guys live in the Northeast, but it's getting dangerously cold. I mean, the weather, actual temperature ranges are projected negative 25 to negative 65 degrees below zero. Wind chills up to minus 108 degrees. And this is crazy. We just got done with or Texas getting hit. Now New York, Vermont, New Hampshire, Maine, Massachusetts, Kentucky, Rhode Island are seeing record low temperatures. The coldest temperatures reported or recorded for a long time, if ever. The Earth's gravitational pull. Nobody's talking about this either, which is driving me crazy. We know the Earth stops spinning, or the inside of the Earth stops spinning. Nobody's talking about it. Scientists did these studies. They figured out the Earth's inner core had stopped spinning and started to reverse itself. Nobody's talking about what's happening. And that's something else I've been really digging into lately. I cannot find any more information about it. Now, a lot of concern before this study was done, if the inner core ever stops spinning, what would it do to our magnetosphere, which actually blocks out the harmful radiation from the sun? And it's expected, it got terrible. The results, of course, of those studies, projected information. I mean, there's movies made about the inner core stop rotating. There's multiple movies made because the hypothesis that came from that would be devastating. Within 6 months of destabilization of the Earth's crust, I mean, that's what they were talking about during these studies that they did before. Yeah. Well, the moon moves closer to Earth every year. Nobody realizes that. Closer it gets, the worse it's going to be. Of course, the faster it falls. Just like any object that's decaying in orbit. The moon is in a decaying orbit, whether we want to admit it or not. But decaying orbit is normal for any object circulating the Earth without a propulsion device. This whole inner core thing really drives me crazy. There's so much fluff, so much information being pushed out at once right now. News is literally full of junk news. One story after another, covering every aspect of what's going on, but nothing about what's really happening. I mean, this is concerning. Just type in what happens if the inner core stops rotating on the internet. I mean, that's the question. Don't look at anything that's new or recent. Look at something from at least a year ago. Because, of course, now they put out lots of other articles. A lot of information and fluff been put out since this event has happened. I mean, the Earth's magnetic field is produced by metals circulating in the molten outer core. The core solidified. If the core solidified, the magnetic field would shut down. The core would stop rotating. The magnetic field would shut down. The atmosphere would be no longer protected from cosmic radiation and solar wind. This could eventually cause the Earth to lose its atmosphere. I mean, what would happen? There's a lot of basic questions. What would happen even if the Earth inner core stops inside suddenly stopped? Which that's what it's done. If you look at Mars, that's what happened to Mars. We know that. That's what research was done. So no longer shielding us from the sun and solar winds would cause the atmosphere to be ripped off our Earth. We know that that's what the projections say. That's what the process says. It's like a fuel. Let's be honest. Nobody's talking about this issue. They're talking about everything else. Sad to say. Yeah, I figured, Teresa. Because your name pronunciation is still Michelle. Oh, but it's crazy out there. Absolutely crazy. Where do we go from here? What happens next? I don't know. Will we go the way of the dinosaurs? I don't think so, Richard. It's not going to be as drastic as the movies, that we put out in the past. But we know destabilization of the crust is possible. We know that the atmosphere will eventually be stripped away if the core does not rotate faster than the Earth. So those are concerns, that we know from a scientific perspective that aren't being talked about. Um, I think we'll have plenty of time to prepare if the atmosphere does start to dissipate. I mean, we're not stupid. We know how to build things that we didn't know how to do a long time ago. Now we're planning on moving to other countries that don't have the things that we have, or moving to other planets that don't have atmosphere. So enjoy life. Yeah, magnetic field won't work. That's exactly what. If you any research study before this year, before we figured out the Earth's core has stopped moving, says magnetic field will not work. So, and now they're projecting a comet to pass by the sun on the other side, causing massive solar storms up and coming. So we'll see what happens with that. Of course, wars and rumors of war are everywhere. Bible talks about that. Nostradamus talks about that. Every prophet ever anywhere has talked about that. Coming days of the apocalypse. And the earth is scorched. A scorched earth. Magnetic field is gone. Solar storms coming. Wars and rumors of war. I mean, all of this stuff is very concerning. And I know this is opinion piece and it's not basically news, but the fact is, this is crazy. This is crazy stuff that's happening right now. I mean, one way or another, we got to survive it. One way or another, we got to pull through. We got to be honest with ourselves and be honest with the people we love and care about. Yeah, everybody talked about the inner core and what would happen. Everybody. I mean, we're living what's happening now. That's the way it's going to be, one way or another, whether we like it or not. Just be prepared for anything at this point, because literally, we don't know who's going to be the one that pushes the button first, or realizes the end is near, or decides the end is near, just decides to start the end itself. I mean, if Rush decides to, or Putin decides he's losing and decides, well, I'd much rather die than lose, and he decides to nuke the U.S., the U.S. is going to try to retaliate. It's not going to be good. The evils are here. Yeah. Just pray and be prepared for the insanity that's coming. Right. But God bless you all. We definitely appreciate you guys being here with us live. We will be back Monday night at 9:30 Eastern Standard Time. I am sorry I'm not staying on long tonight. I really do not feel good. But God bless you all. And if you're able to donate, please do. We are trying so hard to raise money for families in need. We have Easter coming up. So far, we haven't received much. I think we received $30 total in the last couple weeks. Let me actually look so I can make sure I'm saying the right thing, because definitely like to be honest about. We received $30 since January 4th. So definitely do need to raise more money. If you guys can help us out with that, we definitely appreciate it. God bless you all. Have a wonderful night, and we will see you, of course. See you Monday night at 9:30 Eastern Standard Time. Good night. God bless you. God bless America.